Right. And how does, and I know we kind of talked about it a little bit, but how does one heal today in 2025? They move from one relationship
To
and
another.
they jump right into another.
Yep.
Because it's easy. It's easy for them.
Heal
Yeah.
me. Heal
Listen,
me.
they feel it's easy for them. You know, they feel like they need some company. You know,
Right.
and I mean, it works for some people. To be honest with you, it does work
It
for
does
some
work for
people.
some people.
It's not gonna work for me.
Nah.
Right. But it works for some people to do it, but it doesn't fully work because they wake up that next morning and or maybe even while they're with that person,
Now, but now listen, it
they
depends
think
on
of
who they
you.
with. And now sometimes you got these women that has this real low self-esteem. And I'm not talking about all men, but a lot of men want that. They with that low self-esteem, and because the only thing they have to do every once in a while is tell them they pretty when they know they face an Italian.
Mm.
I'm just being real with you.
Right.
You
Right.
Mm.
What do you think, E?
I mean, I truly feel, and I'm just speaking from my own experience. Just as I mentioned on the phone yesterday with you and Phoenix, like, growing up as a kid, like it was always a battle with me and my mom, right? So she didn't really like the words "I love you" and the embracing, the hugs and "son, I'm proud of you." Like I didn't really hear none of that stuff come from my mother
Right.
because there was a lot of issues between her and my dad. You know, During the marriage, my father, he had a child, and that caused like a lot of conflict.
Hmm.
And my mother's love for my father outweighed the love that my mother had for me and my sister. So we didn't really feel it from her. We always saw her showing that to my dad, but as far as like me and my sister, we didn't really see that. So I think, well, I know for a fact, like entering into a relationship with my kid's mom
Right.
when I was 17 years old, there was like a lot of stuff going on at my house, the physical abuse, maybe going into foster care, all that stuff. So not really seeing that kind of love, within the home. When I entered into the relationship with my kid's mother, I was actually broken, but didn't even really realize that I was broken, right?
Hmm.
So I'm entering into this relationship with her. And at the time, there was things going on in her house too. So she was broken as well. So we were just two broken people trying to comfort one another and
Yeah.
trying to be like that protective aid for one another and,
Hmm.
just being there for each other. Then later on down the line, we have children and, a lot of the love that came from my childhood friends' mothers and also my aunts and my grandmothers, that's what helped me to really realize what love actually felt like. To
Mm.
have someone hug you, tell you that they love you. So I
Hmm.
knew that the problem wasn't me. I knew it was more so an internal problem that was taking place within my home. But back then, we didn't have the resources like the therapists and people that we could actually, professionals that we could actually go to talk
Hmm.
to kind of walk us through these processes of life and to help us to get better. But now that I understand it, so the brokenness that
Hmm.
I felt actually started within my home. It wasn't in a relationship with a woman, but I took that brokenness from my home and brought that into my relationship. And who knows, maybe that's what caused it to fail for that very reason.
Now, for those who don't know, Eric Jones has a book out, and see how things happen.
Hmm.
Um,
Right.
Tell them about your book.
So, so my book is called "The Scars That Healed." It's based upon a true story. I talk about all of my trials and tribulations that I've gone through throughout life, and my story that I put out is not geared towards trying to put someone on blast or trying to make it seem like I was some sort of like, I don't know, gangster or this person who I'm not. It was more so to inspire folks. So throughout reading it, it's one of those type of books it's gonna make you smile in some portions of the book. Some portions are gonna make you feel sad,
Right.
but there's also gonna be some parts in it that's gonna make you feel very proud.
Right.
Even when I sat down and I read the book myself, because I broke it down into pieces because there were some points throughout the book where I had to actually stop because it was draining so much out of me to go through certain sections of the book because my memory is so sharp I remember these things like they just happened yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to just take a stop, take a pause, and then get back to it. But the book solely is just geared to inspire folks and let people know that you can go through anything. You
Right.
know, you can get through anything as long as you keep on putting your best foot forward and keep on trucking right along, keeping your faith in God to guide you through it, staying prayed up. All of those things will get you through it.
Right. Right.
Because I talked about a part in the book um, where I graduated from Curry College. Now I never shared this with anyone, but fresh out of high school, I went to Curry College to apply, and they told me, they were like, your grades in high school weren't that great, and they weren't, because there was so much stuff going on in the house. I was cutting school all the time, so my grades weren't the greatest.
Right.
So they were like, "Oh no, you can't go to school here." But then later on in life, God gave me another opportunity to go there and apply to the school, and I told myself that if God lets me get through the school this time, I'm gonna knock the doors off of this thing. I'm gonna put my best foot forward and get through this thing and be the best at it that I could possibly be. And
Mm.
ended up graduating from there in 2022 with my bachelor's degree.
All right. All
Work,
right.
Yeah.
working on my master's degree now, and I made the dean's list the entire time I was at Curry College. Even in the master's program, I'm still on the
Mm-hmm.
dean's list.
Right.
So again, it's just more so the book is geared more so to inspire.
Ladies, sound like a great guy to me.
Yeah, I applaud your
Right.
growth.
You know what I'm saying?
That is so grown up. Yes.
You know, but yes. And the name of the book again?
It's called The Scars That Healed.
The Scar.
It's
Yeah.
on Amazon.
All right, go get that, ladies. Because you know what, we all need some healing.
Yeah.
You know, we need some healing. All right. Once again, folks, if you're just tuning in, you're listening to the Urban Heat 98.1 FM R&B Talk, and we're talking about relationships. Great panel. We got Eric Jones. We got the number one around the way girl, Phoenix Fire, and of course, R&B soul artist Tanya Nolan. Her latest single is out now for you in stores. I don't know how much time you got, but